which is a process that takes place in the following way. The higher blends with the lower in order together to actualize the middle, which thus becomes either the higher for the preceding lower or the lower for the succeeding higher. Objective science calls these three holy forces of the sacred Triamazicamno by the following names. The first, the affirming force, or the pushing force, or simply the force plus. The second, the denying force, or the resisting force, or simply the force minus. The third, the reconciling force, or the equilibrating force, or the neutralizing force. At this place of my explanations concerning the fundamental laws of world creation and world maintenance, it's interesting to note, by the way, that the three-brained beings of this planet that has taken your fancy, during the period before the consequences of the properties of the organ Kunda buffer had been crystallized in their common presence, began to be aware of these three holy forces of the sacred Triamazicamno, which they named the first, God the Father, the second, God the Son, and the third, God the Holy Ghost. In various circumstances, they expressed the hidden meaning of these forces and their longing to receive from them a beneficent effect for their own individuality by the following prayers. Sources of divine rejoicings, revolts, and sufferings, direct your action upon us. Wholly affirming, wholly denying, wholly reconciling, be transubstantiated in me for my being. Or, Holy God, holy the firm, holy the immortal, have mercy on us. Now, my boy, listen very attentively. In the beginning, as I've already told you, our most holy Son Absolute was maintained solely by means of these two primordial sacred laws. But at that time, these laws functioned quite independently without the help of any forces whatever coming from outside, and this system was called auto-egocrat. And when our all-maintaining endlessness decided to change the principle of functioning of both these fundamental sacred laws, he made their hitherto independent functioning dependent on forces coming from outside. Since this new system required the existence of corresponding sources outside the Son Absolute, where such forces could arise, and from which they could flow into the presence of the most holy Son Absolute, our almighty endlessness was then compelled to create our existing megalocosmos, with all the cosmoses of different scales and the relatively independent cosmic formations contained in it, and since then, the system for maintaining the existence of the Son Absolute has been called Trogo-Auto-Egocrat. Having uttered these last words, Beelzebub suddenly became silent and again deeply thoughtful, and Hassin and Ahun looked at him in wonder. After some time had passed, Beelzebub, shaking his head in a certain manner, turned again to Hassin and said, I'm just thinking that it would be very good if to this question of yours, why our endlessness so often rejoices this holy planet with his appearance, I should answer in such a way that I could also explain, as I have several times promised you, about the fundamental cosmic laws by which our present world exists and is maintained. Because it's only by taking these two questions together that you will have sufficient material for a full representation and a complete understanding of this holy planet, purgatory, and at the same time learn more about the three brain beings who interest you and who arise on the planet Earth. I also now wish to give you as many clear and detailed explanations as possible concerning this holy planet, because sooner or later you will have to know about it.